story that we've seen. I mean, this guy's credentials, television movies that he's written for. I mean, as a writer, he's written a television movie, Collision Earth. That's it? That's the only movie he's written for? And you're expecting him to... Look, I understand people are going to come on here and they're going to say, don't judge a book by its cover, Brian. And I'm not. But when I look at the trailer and I look at what people have to say, I can't help but be a little judgmental. I can't. You know, I look at this and I'm like, this is not Gem. All this is a cash cow on the Gem and a Holograms property. I mean, say what you will about Michael Bay. Yeah, he has a fetish for explosions. For boom and boom and boom and boom and boom and boom. You know, but at least he stayed true to the Transformers material. He didn't change anything. Just say, okay, I'm going to take the Transformers title and I'm just going to put random Transformer people, I'm going to change up the origins and da-da-da-da-da. You know, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Okay, first of all, we should have expected when the Transformer movie came out, we know it was going to be different. We know that. How many interpretations of Transformers has there been? How many interpretations of Ninja Turtles has there been? How many interpretations of G.I. Joe have there been? There's been a lot of interpretations. A lot of different takes on the origins of how they came to Earth, how they went back, so on and so forth. A lot of different takes. A lot of different takes, folks. But at least they stayed true to the characters. They brought the characters in. Yeah, they killed off some of the originals throughout the films, Jazz being one of the first, and then of course you had Ironhide go, and you had, you know, Wheeljack go, if you will, and well, their version of Wheeljack, that is. But you know, and even Alita 1, or whatever her name was, Acromia. But the thing is, at least they kept the characters in the film. True, they may have changed up their transformations somewhat to be more modernized, or basically what they would look like now. But the thing is, they stayed true to the characters. They didn't change. They didn't just take the name of Transformers and say, okay, we're going to put this character, that character, we're going to make this Autobot, that Decepticon, blah, 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 blah. No, they didn't. Now you might say, well, you know, they're not doing that with Jim and the Holograms. They're keeping the names and everything. Yes, they're keeping the names, but it's not establishing, but it's not really staying true to where it came from. You see, with Transformers, at least like I said, despite how you feel about Michael Bay, at least he stayed true to the origin of the Transformers somewhat. He stayed true to the fact that there's a civil war going on between the Autobots and Decepticons. Okay? At least he stayed true to that in some way. He referenced the past. Basically what I'm saying is, despite how you feel about Michael Bay, he at least tried to stay true to what the material was. And the person that wrote the script for the Transformer movies, the people that wrote those scripts, tried to stay true to who the Transformers were. They tried. And they probably did better than what people want to give them credit for. The same with the people that directed and wrote and produced the G.I. Joe movies. They stayed true to that source material. But when people look at Jem in her movie, and they look at the budget she's being given, I don't think you can blame anybody for the backlash that it gets. I don't think you can blame anybody. I think if anything, like I mentioned earlier, they have a valid argument. And if I'm Hasbro, I'm paying attention to what these people are saying. I'm paying attention to these people throwing this backlash out of what's going on. Yeah, the movie's going to come out, and we're going to have to see if it's good or not. Because like I say, don't judge a book by its cover. Maybe we'll get a post-credit or mid-credit scene at the end where it leads us into a sequel, and that sequel will be exactly what the first should have been, based on the exact material that it should have been based on. But I'm just saying, that's just me. That's just me. And, you know, when you have someone like Zaran Nizarak, Sean McLean, a guy that's very well known on the internet for his multimedia chronicles, his Saturday Night Insanity, his Saturday Morning Fridays, and his new anime waves and whatever, and his unboxings and his unpackagings, his package openings. When you have a guy come out and tell somebody on Facebook that in a way, and I'm not quoting Sean here, but I'm just trying to recall what he said in the comment, that in a sense he did watch Gem more than he would Ponies. I mean, heck, he has the Gem set. In fact, Shout Factory sent him the Gem set. So, when you have him come out, and then you have someone like Black Nerd, Andre of the Black Nerd Comedy come out, and they say something very similar in tone that this is not Gem. This is just someone taking the license of Gem and just putting their movie and just putting the Gem title over that movie that's not Gem. Then you have a valid point. Then they, along with everybody else, has a valid point. Again, unless there's some kind of hint, unless there's some kind of Easter egg, unless there's some kind of mid or post-credit scene at the end that indicates that a sequel is going to happen, and that sequel might be exactly the way the first movie should have been, where we will finally see the Synergy character the way it should be. We'll meet the Misfits. We'll see all this. We'll finally see the holographicness that made Gem and the Holograms what it is, and they're known for. I don't know how well this movie's going to do. And all I can say is Ryan Landers, Universal Pictures, better pray to God, to the Lord above, this movie is a hit. Because if it's not, it's going to bomb. And it's going to go through the same things the Fantastic Four movie's gone through. It's going to go through the same thing the Amazing Spider-Man has gone through. It's going to go through massive reboot, massive retcon and retooling, to the point that Hasbro is going to go away from Universal and they're going to say, Paramount, take it away. And that's what Paramount's going to do. And you know what? I guarantee you there are some people at Hasbro right now that are thanking God this is the only movie that they have to associate outside of AllSpark Pictures with another studio, because at least they, after this, going into next year and the year after, will have a little bit more say, a little bit more control over what goes on in the movie. Because I guarantee you, if they have that kind of same control that they're going to have when it comes to MLP, movies like MLP and possibly future Transformers and G.I. Joe films and all that, I guarantee you, if they had that say going into this one with Gem, they would tell the people, they would tell Ryan Landers, no, this is not Gem. This script you're giving us, this is another movie. The Gem you're supposed to give us, you're supposed to give them, is supposed to be based on the show. You're supposed to have things from the show. You're supposed to have synergy. You're supposed to have the holographic magic. You're supposed to have this and that. What you're giving us here is nothing more than a coming of age, get-together band story with the same story people have seen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And like I said, and I think anybody watching this will agree, this is nothing more then Josie and the Pussycats 2015. That's what this is. And I know people hate to hear that, but it's the truth. So, again, all I could do is hope and pray that they have a massive hit here. Because that's the only way that's going to salvage and save this movie's reputation. We've got till the end of the year. We've got till between October and December till this movie is released. And I guarantee you, if it doesn't succeed, Hasbro is never going to let someone like Ryan Landers get close to... They're never going to let him write another script for one of their properties ever again. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You better pray, Universal, that this is a big hit for you. Because it's not just your back. It's not just your hide. It's not just your reputation that's on the line. It's Hasbro's. And yes, Hasbro has given us some duds. A lot of people look at Battleship as being one of the biggest duds they've done. But at least they put money into that. $5 million is not the kind of money you put into a property like Gem. It's not. All that is an indie film. All that is chump change, and no disrespect, but that's indie film budget. That's all it is. So you better pray you have a huge hit, guys. That's all I'm going to say. So let me know what you people think down below of what I have to say here. Sorry this was in a couple of parts, but let me know what you guys think. And do you think this is going to go through the same routine that the Fantastic Four movies did and eventually get retooled and rebooted into the film it should be? Let me know down below. Talk to y'all later.